Well, happy Thanksgiving, Adam. It is Thanksgiving week, the day before, and our last media availability before the season finale, or the regular season finale. For once, it's not the season finale.
Yeah.
We get to actually have a game after this. But first off, happy holidays to you, and you excited for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, especially this year, we don't have to travel. So it's nice to be able to go to sleep on Thanksgiving and then pop up early on Friday and get down to the stadium. But yeah, no, it should be a fun time. I enjoy getting this snippet of time around family because I'm sure you're the same way. Just the last 4 or 5 months, it's been really tough to fit that in. And so to make that conscious effort to hang out with people and talk about stuff other than football for a day will be nice.
Especially because it's not over after this week.
Right.
And a lot of times, again, it is for us because this season ends, the last regular season game, and then the focus is signing day, usually about 3-4 weeks later.
Yeah.
This year's way different in that, obviously they're going to play a bowl game. There's still that possibility of being in the Big 12 title game next week. Signing day is next week, which I know is huge for you more than anybody. But it doesn't stop. That's for sure. But that's exciting. There's a lot of fun things and exciting things going on with this program right now.
And a trip to New York in the midst of all that too.
Right.
So you're doing the postmortem on the season now and then kind of transitioning to signing day. It's nice that it's going to be busy, but it's going to be all for positive reasons around here because this has been a fan base that has deserved this. You can go back to the 1-11 season and that Howell win, the fact that there were that many fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of diehards that should enjoy this. And it's a tough result out of Kansas City, but then you kind of step back and look at the overall picture, and it still looks pretty rosy for this program.
Yeah, and it sets up nicely for, I think, football fans, CU fans especially, that, hey, watch your team first thing Friday, and then sit back and watch everything else.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's fun. Hopefully the dominoes fall the way Buff fans want it to. Maybe it'll be agonizing. I don't know, but we'll find out. But as far as this game, we're going to preview it later this week. But we talked to Coach Flea, Gary Harrell today, the running back coach. Found out that Isaiah Augusta may not be ready to go. And sounds like he's more of that emergency back this week. Coach Flea talked about Micah Welch, Dallin Hayden kind of being that 1-2 punch with Charlie Offerdahl in there as well. So Isaiah, it's unfortunate. He's been their best back probably. But you like Micah and Dallin in some situations as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see a Micah Welch heavy game if his body can handle that. He's been coming back from that hamstring injury. We haven't gotten all the details of how he's feeling day to day right now, but he just brings a different style. And the want-to factor every time you watch that kid play out there, that young man play out there. So I'd like to see some of that. I asked Coach Flea, are you anxious to just see Isaiah Augusta get some decent amount of carries for a healthy period of time? Because we just haven't seen that consistently. The one time we saw him, was it like 22 carries he had in one game?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Had like 90, 95 yards.
That was one of their best running games as a team. Yeah. And so I think he is the running back on this roster with the brightest future. And that's something Coach Flea said to this point. He has been the one that's been the best playmaker. Now, he's talking about him still needing to progress into that every down running back, and pass protection needs to continue to improve. And obviously, like he said, he knows he can't put footballs on the ground again like he did at the CSU game. You get over that stuff, and I like the future there. I don't know what the portal is going to look like as far as if they go after a top-level running back. I think at this point you'd say that'd be a pretty darn good idea. I want Dallin Hayden to break out, but he just isn't making guys miss.
Right.
And if you're going to play at this level, you've got to make some guys miss. And so that's been an issue with him.
This could be a game that they, even without Isaiah, they're able to get some traction on the ground because Oklahoma State obviously has not been great against the run. Micah Welch is a guy that I've loved since signing day. I love his potential. I wouldn't mind a Micah Welch heavy game either. And Charlie, when he's gotten his opportunity, he produces sometimes as well. And so, I still feel good about the group in this game. Against Oklahoma State, I wouldn't maybe if it was a Utah defense or something like that, but I feel good about it in this game.
Well, if Isaiah Augusta is kind of an emergency option in this game because of that hip injury, then you would feel pretty good about his chances of coming back and playing meaningful snaps for the Buffs again this season. Again, you put me on the spot and make me list 5 things I really want to see down the stretch. a heavy Isaiah Gustav
Yeah.
running the football game would be pretty high on that list.
Yeah. Another one would be a not very heavy Mark Vassett game. Because
Yeah,
that
there you
means
go.
they're not playing. We talked to Mark Vassett and Alejandro Mata today as well. Both of them, always have good perspectives and fun things to talk about as well. But Mark, he's been a 2-year Buff, and he talked about how excited how much he's enjoyed being here, how much he's just grateful how he's been embraced by this fan base. It'll be his last game at Folsom, and a lot of seniors, but he's one of them. And these Buff fans have not gotten a chance to know these guys over a long period of time, but they probably feel like they've known them pretty well because of well-off media and things like that.
Yeah, especially the way that Coach Prime highlights the specialists, and that was
Yeah.
something that was asked to those guys today. I mean, Mark Vassett was with the team at Big 12 Media Days.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of teams that you don't want to just have
Right.
the punter there, but to have him included with your Heisman Trophy candidates, and Shiloh was out there as well.
Yeah.
That was a good group, and yeah, he was so close to the perfect punt in his last home game. It'd be fun to see him get something close to that. If you're making predictions for this game, have Mark Vassett pin one inside the 5-yard line might be one that you'd want to make, because he's so good at that directional punting, and he's always been fun for the media folks to talk to, and he's embraced his opportunity here. You can tell when he says something like, "I'll be a Buff for the rest of my life," that this experience had that big of an impact. And even in the transfer portal era, you still get those stories.
Yeah. And is there a kicker more beloved in CU history than Alejandro Mata? Because of the relationship he has with Coach Prime, who's embraced him. And we learned today that Mata teaches Travis Hunter Spanish at times. So he's a great teammate and multifunctional.
He's got such a great personality.
Yeah.
And my favorite line last season, when he had the game winner against Arizona State, Uncle Neely was interviewing him in the hallway after that game and was asking him about the fact that Arizona State iced him in that game.
Yeah.
And Alejandro said, "You can't ice what's already been iced." That's the mentality you need in your kicker. And he eats a Publix sandwich, which I guess traveled quite a bit of ways this last weekend. Gosh, to be in your young 20s and be able to handle traveled food like that, God bless you, Alejandro. I don't know if I would risk it the night before a game, but it's been working for him, and he hasn't had that many opportunities the last couple of weeks. But we've grown to really count on those being 3 points. Now, he doesn't have the strongest leg, but when he runs out there, you feel pretty good about it.
Well, and the coaches know he doesn't have the strongest leg, so they're not going to put him out there unless it's what they feel like is in his range, and that's why he's been so good at that. And so, you feel good if they get stalled at the 25-yard line, it's a 43-yard field goal. Yeah, you feel good about that. And, he's made 9 in a row, so he hasn't had a chance the last 2 games. He likes that. He's like, I'd rather kick extra points anyway. But the school record, by the way, is 10 in a row. So he's right there. It'd be fun to see him.
Does Mason Crosby hold that?
Yeah, Mason Crosby and James Stefano tied it a few years ago. So there's a chance for that as well. I hope I didn't jinx that right now. But let's move on to Thanksgiving real quick before we get out of here.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. One thing Mata was asked about, he gave great detail about his favorite Thanksgiving side dish and mac and cheese, but he went with mashed potatoes because that's the most consistent.
Okay.
So before we get out of here, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Alejandro Mata needs to try my potatoes, because that's what, like, we have kids, like when they're off to college and grown-ups, they're going to be traveling back to our house to have these mashed potatoes. You mash them up, you throw some sour cream, cream cheese, garlic salt, chives in there, get it all even, throw it in a baking pan, little drizzled melted butter on top, some paprika, bake that for about 45 minutes. And you're going to make people pretty happy. So I love that. My wife makes a great turkey, which, turkeys are an easy thing to make wrong, where they come out dry. But she's got the whole brine situation going. She was at work yesterday on it. And it's a lot of pressure on her, but she does a great job with that.
So I'm coming to your house for Thanksgiving then, just to get the potatoes.
I will make you a side, and I'll give it to you. You can have mashed potatoes for breakfast before the game on Saturday.
Sure,
right?
that's Friday. 7 a.m. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go with stuffing. Just because stuffing is another one that it can be done wrong.
Absolutely,
but
dry.
A really good stuffing, the one that, like, traditional stuffing, like my wife will make it pretty good, where it cooks inside the turkey and things like that. I'll take that.
Does she work with the giblets and all that?
No, it takes that out, but she's got a recipe that works out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I think stuffing and turkey are two things that can be fantastic or pretty awful if they're dry. So I thought it was funny. Coach Prime was talking about Thanksgiving the other day. He's like, we're not focused on, and he listed off like 15 foods. Right. It's like, it's a good thing they're going to get a good Thanksgiving meal around here. And then I have no doubt that this team is going to be pretty locked in on Friday.
I challenge any Buff fans out there to listen to what Coach Prime said yesterday and make your Thanksgiving dinner exactly with the foods that he listed. Every one of them, and don't leave anything out, and that's your Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, he mentioned dumplings.
Yeah.
Which was a newer thing that I hadn't heard. That's a Thanksgiving staple.
He mentioned a couple desserts as well. So,
red velvet cake. I mean, there's never a bad day for some red velvet
I did
cake.
learn when he was first here that that's his favorite.
Okay.
Like, he's got a sweet tooth, but red velvet is his favorite. So, and then when he said that, it didn't surprise me because I had heard that before. So, well, happy Thanksgiving to you. We'll be back to preview the game later on this week.
And happy blessed Thanksgiving to everybody.